Okay, we are live again. Really sorry for that, guys. We had some issues with the streaming platform we use, StreamYard, and yeah, there was some disconnect, and I dropped off, and I couldn't really see what was going on, so we just chose to end the stream there and just pick it up again. So I think we're just gonna give, yeah, now after that commercial break, we can resume. So I think let's just give it a little bit of time and let some more people trickle in. We did lose a couple of viewers because of that delay. So yeah, we're just gonna give it a minute or two here, and then while we're getting the reactor ready again, so we can restart that demo, we're gonna take some questions from the AMA questions channel. At the same time, guys, those of you that are here, you guys can get priority access to the questions. So drop some in YouTube, drop some in Discord. We're watching both of those channels. Also, if you guys can, just let everyone else know that we're back now, so we can try and get some more eyes on here. We're only on 17 viewers right now.
Okay, let's do that. Also, feel free to share this on your Twitter, guys, and tag any influencers or just people that have been following ARC recently.
Yep, cool. So I'm looking through the questions here, and we have quite a lot coming up today. So yeah, again, we're only on 13 viewers right now, so I'm just gonna give it a couple more seconds to let some more people trickle in, and then we'll take some of the first questions. Yeah, let's just drop an ad here there. Okay, so I think we'll take some of the first questions here that we can see in the AMA channel. Again, please feel free to drop them in YouTube as well, and we can keep that chat alive. So, how can ARC Swap offer a 40% discount on gas fees versus other swaps? So, I think this question came up recently in a group chat we were in, and there is a little bit of secret sauce that obviously we can't go into. But also we can say that currently what we're taking from the swap is no fees, and so because of that, we also don't have to compete with that kind of fee structure. There's definitely some really special stuff happening, and we do try and find the optimal route to send your transactions through, as you can find with other platforms. But again, 40% is a up to number. It's not necessarily the guaranteed number you'll get every time, but definitely you'll find your transactions come in $1 or $2 cheaper on average, and then some users have reported up to 40%. So again, we can't go into too much detail about how we actually get there. That is understandably our kind of internal secret. But we are really happy that everyone gets to experience the benefit of that. So yeah, we have a couple more viewers that have trickled in. Just a refresher for everyone, we're just doing a couple of questions. We're going to get straight back into the Reactor demo. We had some technical issues, and so we had to drop that stream, but we've restarted now. So question number 2 is, how much demand is Team ARC forecasting for the Reactor? I think this is a complex one because it is a forecast. The Reactor can do so many things. It has so many potential use cases and so many applications that it's really hard to put a number on it. But just from the testing we've done with users, the feedback that we've got from some of the open beta or the private beta that we did, it's been really good. It's been really optimistic. We're really excited. We think that there's going to be quite an influx of users when we actually make this public. But again, for now, we can't put an exact number on that.
Yeah, we're cool. Definitely building our. Oh, sorry, Logan.
I was just going to say, we're almost back at 40 viewers, so this might not be a horrible time to hop back into the Reactor demo.
Yeah, I'll hop right in. I believe I had just mapped the contract, but I'll do that again for anyone that's new. Can you see my screen, Logan?
Yeah, hold on. Let me add that to the stream. There you go. We can see your screen.
Awesome. Hopefully that was added to the stream the last time I was doing it. But all right, so here we have the Uniswap V2 router contract. It has over 700 lines of code. If I want to understand this right now as a developer, I need to read through the code, through the notes that exist, as well as the documentation, maybe look at a couple other projects, see how they're using the router contract. Or I can just simply grab the smart contract, navigate over to the Reactor, and just paste it in here. And I can see a map generated of the code almost instantly. And this map shows the semantic relationship between everything in the code base from an ERD diagram, which is an entity relationship diagram, all the way zoomed down into semantic diagrams. These diagrams basically just show exactly how the code flows. And one of the cool features with the Reactor as well is that I can just generate new code like that. So, for example, right now, this statement, it's an expression statement. It uses binary operation, identifier, a bunch of technical terms, right? And you think it'd be kind of hard to iterate or edit this if I'm not a developer. But with the Reactor, I can simply change the code just using diagrams and or just using these buttons, and these buttons will generate new code, which of course generates different diagrams. So everyone that has followed Arc for a while now, you guys know about this and you've seen this in action before, but it's about to get a little bit better. So here we have the Uniswap v2 library. I can see the subnodes, the children on the side, but I don't really understand what this is for because I'm not a developer. So why not just ask our AI what it does? So here's the code represented by this diagram. Now it generated a response for the code up here. And it's also generating another response down here just because I had a session open the last time we were in the call here. So basically telling me how it's a library, the functions that it contains, what functions it has in general. And it's just explaining it very simply for me. I can do this with almost every contract in here. So this is an interface, and we can generate these AI responses in less than a couple seconds, most of the time with sub-second latency, which compared to GPT-4, compared to a lot of these other AI models out here, what we're doing is remarkable, because not only do we generate the code much faster, but we also give context as much more fine-tuned than what people can do with GPT right now, unless they go through a manual process that just takes a while. With the Reactor, our AI knows exactly what line of code I want to focus on, as well as the different classes. For example, I just focused on this code approval right there. Boom, I instantly generated a response. This time I'm going to select an entire library right here, and it's going to generate a response. And as you can see, this just allows people to understand code much better, as well as generate fixes and edits. So for example, in this approval function, it's an event for ERC20 token standard. It's triggered when a token holder approves another address to transfer tokens on their behalf. I'm just going to ask, can you please edit this function to, what do you think would be a good example to edit this function to, Logan? Or do you
I
have
was just reading, yeah, I was just reading through some questions. But I think we could ask it pretty much anything here. We could tell it to edit this function to make it more efficient. Although to be honest, I just didn't see the exact function you pulled up there. But if you want to select another one,
Yeah. Why don't we do it this constructor, since it has a map, or we could do this ensure function. Let's generate a response here.
yeah, here we can ask it to just check if or take the block timestamp and check if it's smaller than the block timestamp versus what it's asking for now, which is checking greater than or equal to. So see if deadline is smaller than block timestamp.
Here, let me ask this in a new session, because I think it's, keep in mind, guys, this is still an open beta, so you can see our AI is working very fast, but sometimes the UI doesn't display correctly. So let me ask for this in a new session. There we go. So I asked about this ensure function, and you want me to ask about the block timestamp again? What was that, Logan?
Yeah, just make the deadline say change it so that the deadline is smaller than or equal to the block timestamp.
Okay. And then right there, it just generates a response like that. Here's the new code. I can just paste that in there, and then I have the ensure function change. And of course, I can also do this with entire groups of code. So here we have the Uniswap router, for example, or just this library. I can once again select the entire library and edit directly from our AI. And in the future, what I envision is just a one chat box to control all of Web3. So let's say you have a project that you're interested in investing into, or you have a project you just want to see if there's rug pulls in it. You'll be able to import. So just ask the AI, hey, upload this code. It'll pull it up. You'll say, walk me through it, explain it to me. It'll explain it to you in diagrams as well as plain text. You'll be able to push edits or ask for test cases proving that an exploit exists or proving that you fix an exploit. What we really want to do with this technology is give everyone an ability to access Web3 in a more safe way, as well as push changes and just understand and navigate Web3 like never before. Which right now, security just relies on a couple centralized gatekeepers. What we want to do through this technology is allow everyone to ensure Web3 is secure. Uh, all right, I'm timed out here. My MetaMask logged out. So why don't we move to some questions now?
Awesome. Yeah. And again, also just to reinforce, that wasn't the most complex function we could edit. Reasonably, you
Yeah.
could use that for pretty much any use case. That was just a quick example, kind of off the cuff. But yeah, moving straight into some questions here. TJ, I'm going to send this one to you. What will the team do with the 12.5 million unlock from LP in a month?
So we're going to be using that for negotiating with different exchanges, as well as just topping up our pools. We have a burn rate in our pools that requires anywhere from a million to a couple million every month. Um, and then, of course, it'll also be used to negotiate things for new employees, potentially like a compensation pool, as well as just bounty campaigns for the community. It's going to serve a plethora of different use cases.
Yep, and that's good to hear. Everything that we can do to increase value that we're providing externally and internally is what we're aiming for. What do you think? Why do you think you are ahead of other comp? Don't think you can offer. Why do you think you're ahead of the other competition? Don't think you can offer 40% discount. Why can't they? What is the niche? So really, I think what they're trying to get at is why are we ahead of the competition right now? What's pulling us ahead? We've had a massive pump. What do you feel like has been the cause behind this?
I think it's people just realizing what we're creating here. We're not just another company that creates a product, puts another skin on it, and it's pretty much the same as everything that exists out there in the market. We're innovating every single day. I mean, what I just showed you guys with the reactor, that's our core technology. And I feel like it's going to change the world. But just with swaps in and of itself, like you went from before having to rely on someone's word or an expensive audit they generated on code months ago, when who knows, they might have pushed changes since then, to actually being able to generate your own audits yourself in seconds. So it's really paradigm shifting. I think the market's starting to realize that, and we just want to keep building on top of that narrative, because Web3 was built on the vision of peer-to-peer networking, of validation, as well as the infrastructure itself, setting up nodes. Like everything was supposed to be decentralized. So why are we relying on a couple of parties for our security when we can have the people secure their own projects, check for themselves if projects are secure with objective analysis? They don't have to rely on someone else's analysis. And then move from there with their own freedom of choice. So I think that's why we have an edge is our focus on innovation, but it's also our focus on people.
Yep, I think that's always been the kind of vision here is constantly innovate, constantly build, doesn't matter what the weather looks like, what the market looks like. It's been our focus, and I think we're all really proud that now we're seeing some fruits bear from all of the sustained focus on just trying to figure out what can we do better. But speaking about kind of paradigm shifting technology, when are we expected to release the reactor publicly?
So we are planning to release the reactor before the end of 2023. Um, that being said, we are trying to time the market because we have a lot of products that are coming out on the DeFi side of things. The audits, that was just an MVP. And I know, Logan, you've been working on it, so it's kind of ironic. I'm talking to you about it, but I guess I'm talking to the community member. We just have a lot to release, and we don't necessarily want to dilute the release of the reactor before it's ready for anyone to just hop in and start talking to it. By potentially putting it out in a market just like this one with Evergrande going bankrupt again yesterday, Bitcoin, Ethereum dropping, just the general sentiment around crypto and Web3 dropping off a cliff. So it's really, I would say we have it almost all the way there. Um, but right now we're just trying to be strategic about when we release it. We don't want to release it on top of other product releases that are going to gain us traction, and we don't want to release it in a market where the value of it's going to be diluted. We want maximum impact and traction upon release.
Yep, and I think everyone can agree that makes total sense. Kind of straight off of that one is a question I think we can address once because it came up a couple of times. Is revenue share going live in 2023? The assumption would be we're waiting for the Reactor release so that there's some revenue traction before we can really action that system. So, did you have anything to add to that, or does that kind of wrap that question up?
Well, this is what I want to say. So there's definitely going to be something more tenable in the future when it comes to revenue. If everything goes according to plan, we've released the reactor, these other products, we generate subscriptions around them. Revenue comes in through the DeFi side of things, and then we can share that out on the DeFi ecosystem. But as of right now, that process is facilitated. It's just not directly through revenue. So it's done in our farms. As I mentioned earlier, we give a significant amount of tokens to our farms every month. And that has been the process by which we've been sharing in the appreciation of the company and the token as well.
Awesome. Kind of a last one here on this kind of tangent is what does the DeFi ecosystem look like going forward? Maybe I can speak to this one as we've been working on some really cool tech there that we are getting very close to releasing, but haven't done it yet. We actually have some community members assisting with fine tuning some of the
Yeah.
models that we're going to be using. And I don't want to say too much because we do have a teaser out there. So take a look at our Twitter, take a look at our YouTube. I'm sure you guys can piece together what might be coming next. But basically, we're just looking for continual improvements that can push us a little bit in that direction of being slightly better. If it's an experience, if it's in a technical quality, like saving you more money, we're constantly just trying to evolve it slightly over time so that, at the end of the day, this is the obvious choice for the swap you want to use or the place you want to stake or the fiat on-ramp you want to, use to get from fiat onto crypto. So I think unless TJ has anything to add there, that kind of sums that question up.
Yeah. That was a fair assessment.
Cool. So let me just find another one here. What is the status right now of our funding raise?
The status of our fundraise. So, as some of you may know, we have decided to pause our fundraise just as summer ends. There's a lot of VCs on vacation, and we don't want to necessarily dilute our efforts by focusing on fundraising rather than developing onboarding systems and stuff for the reactor. So that's been paused. We plan to resume that soon. Um, but just in relation to that, AJ's been doing a great job. We've closed a decent percentage of the fundraise in the past. And with the credits that we've been negotiating with companies in this off season, we've managed to secure well over 500,000 towards developing our AI models and infrastructure. So I'd say the process has been going very well.
Yep, and that for sure gives us a lot of runway we didn't need to cover with our own runway, which is great. So kind of adjacent to this, someone has asked that, it's been a while since we had a marketing CMO. Robinson's been doing a lot of heavy lifting on that side. But as for marketing spend, that hasn't really been something we've done so far. We haven't launched massive campaigns. So uh, what's the marketing direction looking like in the next couple of months? Are we planning to drop a lot more resources into that, or where are we headed with that?
We plan to definitely scale that out as we move from building products to actually releasing them and making people aware of them. We definitely plan to up the ante when it comes to marketing.
Awesome. Very much looking forward to building as many products as what we can to support that marketing increase. Right now, we have a question here. Are the roadmap and the tokenomics up to date on the website? Which is a little bit complex because we did just release a new website with a homepage that doesn't include our tokenomics or our roadmap. And those are slated to be releasing soon. But
Yeah.
on that note, has the tokenomics changed? Has the roadmap changed? What's kind of happening in that direction?
Yeah, so the tokenomics, they haven't changed. As far as the roadmap is concerned, it has slightly, and that's just because of all the progress we've been making. For example, integrating AI into the reactor to the extent that it is now, we didn't know that we could do it this fast. So we've been changing the roadmap to reflect the next level that we want to bring it to. So once you guys see that, I'm sure you're going to be excited. But as I mentioned earlier, it's kind of along the lines of anyone being able to use a reactor versus just developers or auditors or technical people. We want the reactor to be available to everybody. So
Awesome. On the note of engagement and exposure and everything shifting, we did just have the MEXC launch, which went really well. I think everyone can agree. So as for sexes, are we planning to look at some more sexes in the future? Are we currently engaging with more sexes? I think people just want to kind of know what that is. Someone asked specifically about Coinbase, which is, in my opinion, not that relevant right now. But how about sexes? How do you feel about ARC listing on more sexes in the near future?
well, I engage with one sex, just to be clear. No, I'm playing, but when it comes to listing with more sexes, we're definitely looking at that as an important piece of the roadmap moving forwards, but not necessarily a priority. So when it comes to money that we're going to spend, we'd rather spend it on product development, product release, and subsequent marketing that is like ultra targeted towards getting users onboarded, getting customers acquired. But when it comes to spending money just directly on a sex listing, it's not a priority for us. And frankly, I believe that sexes will just pick us up organically as our volume continues to pick up and as more people become aware of ARC.
Cool, and I think that's a really fair assessment, especially considering we're not out of a bear market yet. What we've done recently in terms of token is incredible, but it's not speaking to the general state of the market. So I think everyone would agree that makes a lot of sense. This one is I want to get this one out the way because there's a big question coming up that I think will take up some time to explain. Any new further additions to team members? Are we looking at bringing anyone else on? I know you and I talked briefly about this. So do we want to share that publicly, or are we going to keep that behind closed doors for now?
We can keep that behind closed doors. I'm sure people pick up hints from what we mentioned earlier. So
Yep. Yep. Cool. So here's the big question. For the next developments, can you expand on your current vision of the product development in a way that George would understand? So I think people are trying to figure out, where do we go from here? We know the reactor's coming. We know Swaps AI just released. How does this all tie together? What's the product vision for the future, especially for a lot of the kind of new users we've picked up through all the hype recently? I'm sure there's a lot of people who've just landed here and they don't really understand what we're building up towards. So do you want to just paint a broad brush picture of what is the future vision for ARC?
Yeah, absolutely, I can. And I have to say, George gets way too much heat. He's actually a very intelligent guy.
I
But
agree.
I see these questions in here, and I think it's just an inside joke at this point. But yeah, basically, what we want to do is take the security narrative um, from a couple centralized gatekeepers and hand it off to the people. As I mentioned earlier, this space was built on a decentralized vision for the world. The infrastructure of blockchains is decentralized. The way data is validated is decentralized. Everything is decentralized, except security, which is a huge problem. I mean, well over $20 billion just in 2021 and several billion this year. Uh, and throughout last year, even though it's a bear market, has been drained because of security issues. And these problems are definitely reliant on the centralized gatekeepers that are out there. So why rely on a couple people for security when we can just rely on the people? When people can generate their own audits, when they can generate their own test cases, when they can see if projects are secure for themselves, it's going to increase overall trust in Web3, and it's going to increase the overall brand and value of ARC. Uh, we look at auditing and generating test cases and the way it's done is sort of paleolithic, like a thing in the past. You shouldn't pay tens of thousands of dollars just to get an audit that will arrive a month or so later. And then it's not even going to be up to date because you've pushed code since then. Like that should not be the process. The process should be the people that are actually investing into you, your stakeholders, token holders, should be able to audit the process or audit smart contracts for themselves and see if you're secure. And that's what we want to do is just take the power from a couple of those gatekeepers and give it back to the people and then build a subscription mechanism on top of that. Like why pay once for an audit that's not very accurate instead of just paying a very small fee every month and being able to generate as many audits as you want live. And in a nutshell, that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I think that summed it up really nicely, and I think it's something that I'd encourage people here to ask questions about in the community. If you are new, there's a lot. It's a big vision. It's a big project. Engage with community members that can assist you and get you up to speed. We really want you guys to be excited for what's coming as we piece this together, kind of section by section. We want you guys all along for the ride. So on that note, for those of us who are here, who have tokens and don't know what to do with them and want to hold, farms. Right now, we do have a really nice APY on our farm. And I do believe, if I can say this, we might be pushing that up by an unknown percentage soon. So keep an eye out for that. But someone did ask, can you shed some more light on Farms 3.0? Do you have an updated timeline? Will there still be an LP token farm for ARC and WETH? So yes, Farms 3.0 is still coming. As for the timeline right now, our resources are really focused at improving swaps at the moment. But this is something we're bearing in mind that a lot of people want, and it's going to benefit a lot of community members. In addition, will there still be an LP token for ARC and WETH? I believe as of right now, that is still totally the plan. In addition to that, we'll also have a few different tiers where you can lock your tokens up for longer and earn a higher APY, or you can lock it up for more short-term lockup period, and you'll just get a lower APY. This is all done to kind of encourage people to hold tokens and to decrease sell pressure, and also to give our really long-term holders who are committed and willing to lock their tokens up for an extended period of time a little bit of a reward to say thank you very much. We really appreciate that. So yep, that's coming up. As for exact timelines, we're not ready to release that publicly, but we are keeping that in our mind's eye. So I'm taking a look at Discord here. There are a couple of other questions. Some of them I do feel like we've covered, and some of them I just don't think are super relevant. I'm just gonna go through here and give it one more sweep, guys. If you're on YouTube, I see a lot of comments coming through. I haven't seen a lot of questions. So let me just give this a sweep. Yes, this has been the first AMA where we showed the integrated AI. Last time it was just a reactor, and I'm sure we're gonna be showing you guys a lot more of that to come soon. In Discord, ETA an updated roadmap release. I believe that should be coming soon. TJ, do you want to put an exact time on that, or just say very soon, because it is very soon?
I'm gonna say very soon. I mean, you guys know that we've been pushing out updates consistently for over a year now, so I don't throw that word around lightly. So
Yep. That's great, and we'll make sure to there'll be a tweet or a video that will go out as soon as the tokenomics and roadmap is available on our website. Taking a look here for anything else. Okay, there is one more. Phantom is listed as a partner on the website. What exactly is the nature of this partnership?
So this was something that's happened in the past. What we ended up doing is we took GMX, which they're really popular, decentralized perpetual exchange. We mapped their code, we pushed some edits, and then we uploaded them to Phantom, and we did that in 20 minutes. And basically, their entire ecosystem just freaked out. And we did that with the Reactor. Has it been like 4 or 5 months ago now, Logan?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Basically, they just love the technology and they're looking for it.
Cool. And a good friend of ARC just dropped into the chat and he said, "What are your plans to educate and maintain the roughly 800 or 18% increase in holders in just the last 10 days?" Which, first off, I think that's a really nice token to what we've been doing, that we've been able to see this increase. But yes, it's a relevant question because these people do need to understand what we're doing. Definitely, we have a lot of holders who've come in because they saw, there's a lot of movement here. And yeah, what are we going to do from our side to make sure they understand why this was a good investment and why they should stay in ARC?
We're just going to keep on educating people and releasing product.
Yep, and I think that's honestly as simple as that. So it looks like we've covered most of the questions here. Again, I will give it a second. Just see. Okay, here's a new one that came in. Have you started marketing and promotion yet? We did cover that earlier in the AMA. After this broadcast is done, you'll be able to go watch the YouTube video, which will be on our channel. So take a look there. Yep, what all? Yep, honestly, I think we've covered everything at this point. I can't see any fresh questions coming in. So I think it might be a good place to wrap this up, unless you had anything else to add, TJ.
Well, it would have been great to see some other projects that people listed for me to map, but maybe next time.
Maybe next time. And I think people definitely still need to understand what value they can get out of that. So perhaps next time we'll have a couple of examples ready, walk them through those, and then open it up to the floors so that we'll have a more dedicated slot for that. But yeah, I think that went really well, and we're really grateful to see everyone here. I think this was our most popular live AMA we've had in a while, so looking forward to keeping this momentum up. Thanks so much, guys.
Same here. Thank you, everyone. Bye.